we've just got to try and make sure that the second half of the season is a positive one now.
Nigel, Luton Town on Boxing Day. What will be the key things we need to get right to come away with 3 points from Kenilworth Road?
Not make mistakes in the same way that we did against Huddersfield. So, yeah, that was particularly disappointing for us that day. We just need to make sure our game is as good as it can be. So, the players have been okay this week.
Talking to Matty James in a week, he was saying certain things are going well, but then when they go well, other things don't. So is this a case of really just piecing everything together? Yeah,
I mean, I think that's where a lot of the frustration comes from. Really, is that when we seem to find solutions to certain problems, others crop up. But look, players don't go into games to purposely make mistakes. It was a frustration just because I think there are certain elements of that game that we played pretty well. I mean, we are at least starting to create a few more opportunities. So it's important that we get back to winning ways.
Creating those opportunities, and that's one of the things you were talking about several weeks ago that we weren't doing. So in that regard, that's encouraging.
Yeah, but we've got to be always got to be solid as a team, and we certainly we weren't that. We'll look at finding the answers for this week.
We saw Andy King take a full part in training at Ashton Gate the other day in front of the supporters. Is he in the mix, and what would he bring if he was available?
Yes, he is in the mix, and Andy always brings calmness and game knowledge as much as anything. So, it's good to have him back because this is going to be quite a busy period of time of games, and we need as many players available as possible. So, good to get him.
When you've got quite a kind of small squad, how do you manage those resources over, as you said, quite a busy period?
Well, I mean, it's just about trying to keep them as available as possible. Obviously, with things going on in the wider world, it's still a bit of a test at the moment. But the players have made sure that they've protected themselves anyway. And on top of that, it's about keeping them as fit as possible and as available as possible. So I'd rather have decisions to make, and the good thing at the moment is we've got our availability is pretty good.
As you say, there's obviously bigger issues around COVID, etc. As someone who's suffered the effects of COVID, are you encouraged that actually as a squad and a club we are taking every step that we can?
Yeah, but it's yes as a club, because it's important that we still have people available. But I think the issues are a bit wider than that, and that is to try and protect ourselves and each other. That's the big thing.
Looking at other players, Joe Williams is doing bits on the side with Dave Rennie. Yeah. How far is he off? Any time scale?
No, basically, I've not spoken to Dave about Joe recently. He's making good progress, but he's not somebody at the moment that we're talking too much about. He'll be ready when he's ready. It's quite. I know it sounds a bit obvious, but it's because he's had a few setbacks. I think it's really important now that he takes his time, and he also makes sure that he does everything he can to make sure when he comes back this time that he's available for a sustained period of time.
Riley Towner back in the building. We saw him the other day. Good to have him back. And what's the thinking about recalling him a bit early?
Well, obviously Nathan's going to be out for a while, and there's no time scale on that. Riley's done well on loan at Grimsby, so good to have him back now, pushing for a place. So he's very pleased to be back as well. And I think the experience of getting first team football and for him to play in front of decent crowds has been a really good experience for him. So that's one of the benefits of putting players out on loan, is that you hope that the development of them through being exposed to first team football is something that gives them some added quality. And I think for him to have been out and he's played a lot of football since he's been there, so yeah, it's good for him and for us.
It's Christmas time. It's obviously been a strange all year for everybody. Bristol City supporters, as a wider message, what would you say to them, Nigel?
Well, it's not been the best year, has it? Let's be honest. But hopefully our fans see some promising signs, and we've just got to try and make sure that the second half of the season is a positive one now, and that we continue to develop the squad. And but it's really good to have them back in the stadium, and hopefully they stay behind the team this season.